Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be sharing the total cost of moving to Norway for foreign educated healthcare professionals. So I'll be covering the document processing, getting your education assessed, visa, tuition fees. So this will give you an idea on how much you need to prepare if you're planning on the same journey. So for a little context, if you haven't seen my past videos, this is for healthcare professionals who got their education abroad because they can't work in Norway right away because of licensing regulations. So let's start. The first part is getting your education assessed. So here I'll just give a short overview of the cost, but if you want deeper explanation about it, check out my previous video. Let's start with the school documents. They're gonna require your diploma, transcript of records, internship hours, and other relevant documents. You'll usually get this for free from your university after graduation, but if you need an extra copy, it costs around 100 peso per document. And then for the curriculum overview, this one is a bit pricey. I spent almost 3,000 peso for it, and it's a really thick document detailing learning outcomes, lessons, books used. Next is the PRC documents. This one usually costs 75 peso per document plus 20 for the stamping. Then once you have gathered all of your documents, you need to submit it to Helse Directorate, and the processing fee is 1,665 Norwegian kroner, which is around 9,600 Philippine peso. Next is the visa application. I also made a tutorial about this, so you can just check it out in my previous video. So here the cost really varies. Like for example, for me, I renewed my passport before doing the visa process so that I could have a 10-year validity. And of course, the passport picture varies as well. You can just go to any photo studio and it usually costs around 100 peso. With the show money, when I applied, it was 151,690 kroner, but now they change it to 166,859 Norwegian kroner, which is around 980,000 Philippine peso. So you need to have this in your account and then submit proof like bank statement. This covers the food, rent, and other living expenses. So it's really required to have this amount to show UDI that you have the capacity to support yourself while you're in Norway. As mentioned on their website, it's okay if you don't meet the entire amount as long as you have proof that you have a job, so you can submit a job contract to supplement this so that they know that you have money coming in every month. Once you've gathered all the documents, you can submit your application to UDI and pay the fee, which is 5,400 Norwegian kroner or around 31,000 peso. And if you're gonna be applying from abroad, you'd need to submit your documents in person to any VFS which is in Manila and Cebu. So the service fee is 500 peso, and they also have premium services which is optional. It's getting your photo taken there, photocopies, courier services, and SMS updates. Since I lived in a different city, I also paid extra for plane, hotel, food, and transport. And I paid for the premium services so that I didn't have to go back there again just to claim my documents. So it's an option to have it delivered directly to your home. And once you have your visa, you can now move to Norway. So I'm not gonna include the plane ticket since that varies, but yeah, I think I paid around 50,000 peso. Majority of it is because of luggage fees. I brought too much stuff with me. And next is the cost once you're in Norway. So based on the assessment from Helse Directorate, again, this one will vary according to your profession, experience, and where you got your education. But usually they will require either enroll in a bachelor's program and just apply for exemptions for individual subjects. Take the one-year program at Oslo Med. It depends with the profession, of course. This one is only for med techs and nurses. And then there's Nationale Fag. And then you also have to learn Norwegian. Let's start with the Norwegian classes. So Norwegian classes usually cost 6,000 kroner per level. And there's also some schools who have multiple parts per level. For example, A1 Part 1, A1 Part 2, A1 Part 3, and sometimes it's 6,000 per part. Multiply that to 3. There's also some programs that ranges from like 17,000 kroner to 21,000 kroner per level, and then you need to reach B2, A1, A2, B1, B2. That's a lot. That's why I really recommend to start learning Norwegian plan while you're still in your home country because it will really save you a lot of money and it will help you land a job faster. But there's also some schools that offer it for free. I got mine from Caritas. When I arrived in Norway, I only enrolled in a B2 class, so I finished A0 to B1 while I was still in the Philippines. And again, the schools that you need to enroll to needs to be from the list of approved providers, and I also made a video about that, so you can just check it out. And the next is you need to take the Norwegian language exam or Norskprøve. So this one varies from 400 kroner to 2,000 kroner depending on which city you take it. I paid around 2,000 kroner for it. Realistically, people who take Norskprøve don't get B2 on all subtests, reading, listening, speaking, writing, right away in the first try. So you'd also have to take into account how many times you take the Norskprøve. Once you get your B2, you can now enroll to university or to the complementary program. For the one-year complementary program at Oslo Med, the tuition fee is 192,667 Norwegian kroner. You need to pay it in full 1 month after the program starts. So there's also some exceptions for this, so you can just check it here. Next is the Nationale Fag. It's a short course for healthcare professionals. For medtechs, it costs 16,000 Norwegian kroner, but for nurses, doctors, pharmacists, those that need drug handling, it costs 21,000 kroner. But as I've mentioned in the previous video, you can also get exempted for Nationale Fag depending if you take the extra program at Oslo Met or enroll in a university, and the teachers will help you with this. And lastly is the living expenses. It really varies with your lifestyle, but regardless, you need to have the amount required by UDI before arrival. For apartments, it starts from 5,000 kroner. I found mine for 7,500 kroner. I got my own kitchen and bathroom, and everything is included, like electricity, water, heating, and internet. For transportation, there's a monthly pass that costs 466 kroner per month, which includes subway, buses, and trams. For grocery, I just make small meals and I usually spend 1,000 to 2,000 kroner per month. I just make simple food because I really have small kitchen. We have our own laundry area in the dorm, 20 kroner per load. I eat out 1 to 2 times a month and spend around 500 kroner per month. And for my mobile data, I got an unlimited data, which is 249 kroner per month. So to sum it all up, gathering the documents cost from 500 to 3,500 Philippine peso. The assessment fee from Hälsa Direktoratet is 1,665 Norwegian kroner or 9,600 Philippine peso. The visa processing fee is 5,400 Norwegian kroner or 31,000 peso. For the proof of funds or the 1-year living expenses, it's 166,859 Norwegian kroner or 980,000 Philippine peso. For submitting your documents to VFS, the service fee is 500 to 1,200 Philippine peso. The Norwegian class is 6,000 to 21,000 Norwegian kroner or 30,000 to 122,000 Philippine peso. The Norwegian exam depends on which city you take it. It's 400 to 2,000 Norwegian kroner or 2,300 to 11,600 Philippine peso. The tuition fee at Oslo Met is over 1 million peso, and the national subjects is 93,000 to 122,000 peso. But again, the cost here varies and you can also get exemptions to some of them as mentioned earlier. You can work part-time during the semester and full-time during holidays. Here's the minimum wage you can use as a guide. The journey here isn't easy. Even when I was studying, I was also working a lot. And even though I got a job right away, I also got a lot of rejection before that, so you need to prepare yourself. Moving to Norway is really a big investment and it's also a risk. It really requires a lot of effort, but always do your own research. While I am here to give tips and guides, this is just based from my experience, and my experience can vary from yours, and my experience varies from everyone. Double check the official requirements and make sure everything applies to your own situation. So that's the breakdown of the total cost of moving to Norway as a foreign trained healthcare professional. I hope this video gives you a clear idea on what you need to prepare, both the basics and the bigger expenses later on. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Ha det bra!